Welcome again. Tonight, I shall tell you the story of Jola. Jola was a young lady who doesn't listen to her parents, especially to her mom, to her mother. You see, a long time ago, there lived a little girl called Jola. Jola is from a wealthy family and she was a spoiled child. She lived with her mother, who took good care of her. One day, her mother was to pay a visit to a nearby town, and Jola wanted to follow her mother, but her mother said no, that the road is dangerous, you cannot go with me. So she told Jola to stay at home till she returns. But Jola was not the kind of girl who listens to instruction. She was a disobedient child. So, not quite long after her mother left, Jola went to the bedroom and checked under the pillow for the money her mother kept there. She took the money and ran to the market to buy some sugar cane for herself. But she was unfortunate and she met with some slave raiders. Jola was captured and made a slave by the slave raiders. She was sold to different households. And as she was sold, she kept growing up. She kept growing up. She became a beautiful young maiden, but still, she was a slave. But one thing that stuck with Jola, was that as she kept growing up, she heard onto a song. In this song, she tells her life story of how she was disobedient, about how she refused to listen to her mother and she became a slave. In every household she arrived at, she sang this same song. And while she sang this same song, people were enticed by her song, but nobody could do anything to help her. She was a slave, and a slave she remains. So, Jola was sold from one household to another, and finally, she was sold back to her parents. But she was very young when she was taken as a slave, so she did not recognize her mother anymore, and her mother could not recognize her as well. But one day, while Jola was working, the mother heard the song she was singing, and she knew she had once lost a daughter who was very young. She began to suspect that Jola was her child. Every day she listened to the song that the slave maiden was singing, and she began to look at the resemblance and noticed that Jola maintained a resemblance, a bit of a resemblance, the child. And Jola looked like her father, her own father, who is Jola's grandfather. So, back in those days, if they wanted to test if a child was from a household or not, they put the child to the hot oil test. This test involved boiling a cauldron of hot palm oil. Then the child is dipped into this hot pot of palm oil. If the child is pulled out and is still alive, then that child belongs to that household. But if otherwise, the child will die. She needed to know if Jola was a child, so she decided to subject Jola to the hot oil test. The oil was boiled and Jola was dipped into the oil. But lo and behold, she did not die. She was brought out of this oil and she was still alive. Then the mother knew that she had at last found her long lost daughter. Jola was happy to be reunited with her mother, and she promised her mother never ever to be disobedient again. Her mother was also happy to receive her back into the household, and they lived happily ever after as mother and child. So you see, children, it is a terrible thing to be disobedient. Always listen to your parents because it will help you. Should you disobey them, there are disastrous consequences ahead waiting for you. So, shun disobedience, please. I shall be back another time to tell you another story. Until then, subscribe, like, and share the story.